Today we are going to talk about Java arrays. By end of the video, you will have a clear picture of what is an array, how array is internally created, when to use an array, how we declare an array and how to instantiate it, how to access the data in array, and advantages and disadvantages of using an array. Hello, my name is Saurabh Singh and I'm a senior software engineer with 8 years of experience. I am happy to share what I have learned over the years. Okay, so let's understand what is an array. And theoretically, if you see, array is nothing but, it is used to store multiple values of same type in a single variable. Also, arrays are basically, they are an object and it stores the values or the data, in a contiguous memory location. So let's understand how array internally works. So we understand that Java objects are stored in the area, in the memory area called heap. Array is also an object, you know, so whenever an array is created, memory will be allocated in the heap area for that array. So one thing is to note down, array is also an object. Whenever we create an array, the memory allocation would be done in the heap area. All right, so now we know what is an array, and now the next thing comes is like how we kind of declare an array, and how we can add some values into an array, and how can we access the different indexes in array. So I have a class already here created, which is called array example, and in this class, if you see, I have kind of created a new static method. So let's get started. And first way, we create an array is using the new keyword. So suppose we want to create an array of strings. So the syntax for creating an array is like, so we say string and then goes the open and close brackets, and then you give the name here. So let's say we want to have the first name of some people. So let's say first names, and this is the variable which is an array, and we say new, and then we say string, and so this is how we create an array. And now, as we need to give the size of an array. So array is something, while instantiating it, we need to provide the size. Otherwise, it will give an error. So you see here, it says array initializer expected. And it is expecting a size of this array. So let's say we want to store 5 first name into this array, and then size of the array would be 5 here. So I'm putting 5 here, and you see the error is gone. Another thing about array is the array indexes starts from 0 and it goes to n minus 1. So it starts from 0, and then it will put the data in 1 and 2 and then in 3 and then in 4. So yeah, so this is where the data will go once we assign the values to this array. So let's put some values into this array, and this is how okay, so we need to correct here the name and first name, and in order to assign a value to the 0th index, we says equals to, let's say, John, right? And now we have assigned the value to the 0th index in the array. Now let's copy and paste, and just fill the 5 indexes in this array. And this one will be 1, it will be 2, 3, and 4. And let's say John 1, John 2, 3, and 4. So let's see how can we access the value in this array. We need to go to that particular index location. So let's say we want to print the array which is we want to print the value which is present at fourth position, which means the index would be third for that fourth element. So let's say first names, and we want to print the element at the fourth position, so index will be 3. And let's quickly run this program, and you see already I have defined this method here in the main method, and once we run this class, it's gonna execute this method as well. So let's run, and you see first it printed in main method, and the second print printed John 3, so which is this element here in this array. So the second way is to create an array, is without new keyword. So let's see how we can create an array here. So, first the syntax is almost similar. So let's say we want to have last names, right? And last names equals to, so we directly assign the values, and and how we can do that, we do it like this. So we want to have the 5 last names. So we need to, give the 5 different string values here in array. So you see here, we are not, particularly specifying size, but the way, we are kind of assigning the value to this array, it itself explains that the size of array is 5. So let's say I want to have the last name as a Smith, right? And so Smith, and then I'll say Smith 1, Smith 2, and Smith 3, and Smith 4. So how we can access this array? If we want to print, let's say we want to print the value at index 2, right? So we go to last names, we say last names, and we want to print the value at index 2. So basically it is this one, right? So we say 3. When we say 3, sorry, we say 2 because the index start from 0, right? So the third element will be at second index. So now let's run this program quickly and see how it looks like. All right, so we wanted to access the third element, which is Smith 2, and you see it has printed Smith 2. The next thing we're going to talk about is what are the advantages of using an array and what are the disadvantages, right? And I will mainly tell you 2 main advantages and 2 main disadvantages. First advantage of using an array is memory efficiency. When I say memory efficiency, it means, array allocates memory in contiguous block, right? That we know already. And it minimizes, memory overhead and reduces the need of additional data structure to store data. So, it's very simple. Whenever we create an array, it allocates memory in contiguous block, and it doesn't require anything else, and basically it makes it very efficient. And the second advantage of using an array is basically it provides basically the index based access. So you can go and access whatever index you want very easily. So you go to that index, you get the data and do the stuff you need to do. All right, so now let's talk about the disadvantages of using an array. So the first disadvantage of using an array is the size limitation. So, while creating an array, you need to specify the size. So if you specify the size as a 5, it will not grow during the runtime. So that's one limitation. The second disadvantage is if you want to add and remove an element into an array, it is quite problematic because if you want to add a new element, the array has to be shifted towards the right, and if you want to remove an element from that array, it has to be shifted towards the left, and this whole process takes a lot of time, and it makes working with array a bit slower. All right, so that is it for today. I hope you learned something, and if you liked the video, please consider hitting like and subscribe button. Thank you very much for your visit, and see you in the next video.